Guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? This is our big fight weekend recap and review live stream. It is Monday, 10 a.m. Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome. We'll talk about this past weekend. Give me a couple minutes to go on my little rants. We'll cover everything, and then I'll leave the mic open for you guys. And then we'll have a look ahead because just like every fight weekend, what do we always say? We'll celebrate it. We'll sit with it, and then we'll move on because business as usual, best sport in the world. We don't have to sit around 3 months for the season to start. We have work to do week in and week out. So, also, I do want to say the team, JSB Insiders, we've been on quite a roll. Make sure you're creating systems of withdrawing your money. I talk about this all the time. Betting and winning on boxing consistently isn't just all about picking winners. It's about having systems in place so you're actually taking something with you. You're not just gambling everything away after you win. Have systems in place. Whether you rent, whether you own, whatever your bankroll is, whether it's 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, as you're winning, deduct something out, withdraw it out. It makes it real. And over time, you start understanding like, oh, this is a nice side hustle. I know guys who make a living off of it. I wouldn't recommend that being your goal, but if somebody's doing something that you want to do, that's all the evidence you need that you could do it too. So with that in mind, have systems because it's always good to win. It's even better when you're saving, when you're deducting it out. Don't just put it back in. Hey, I'm up $5,000. Let's see who wins this arm wrestling contest. No, I'm up $5,000. Let me deduct $4,000 out. I'll keep 1,000 in. Have your own systems. Okay. That being said, we're going to talk about this past week. I appreciate everybody. Guys, join our world famous Johnny Says Boxing VIP professional betting Discord, the JSB Academy. It's a couple bucks a month. You could either enter here on YouTube, become a JSB Insider on YouTube, get a star next to your name, get first and only access to all of my picks. I don't only give you the winners. You see my tickets, transaction numbers. You see the tickets before the fights. You know where my money's at. You also see when we win. You see when we lose. Get access to our Discord here or become a Patreon. We started the Patreon the end of December. We're already approaching 100 Patreons, which is amazing. And our Discord is growing. We're approaching 430 insiders. However you want to join, click the link. If you guys won, if you're winning consistently, however you could support me, tip, super chat, follow, like this video, wherever you are in the world. Let's get after it. All right, so click that link. That's going to be pinned. We're going to have a look at what we did this weekend. Let's look at our work, boys and girls. Remember, we do have 3% of our Discord are women. So I have to remind all the savages in there, carry yourself in a specific way as if your mom was in that group, your daughter was in that group, your girl was in that group, your sister was in that group. Act accordingly. This is standards I have for my clients, standards I have for my family, standards I have for my friends. If I'm acting a certain way, I expect you to act a certain way. And it doesn't take long for us to, it's just a healthy habit to possess. You want to, especially as a man, you want to carry yourself with character. Okay? That really goes a long way. All right, so this is, I'm just going to go over what this is. This was what you're not going to see on this stream, because this is only 24 hours. We hit our Pro Box. We hit our Pro Box double, which was great. That we won a lot of money on Pro Box. We hit every bet on that fight card. We lost one fight this weekend. Our first money line fight we lost in a long time. We lost the Colin Murphy fight. He lost by split decision. We didn't put Colin Murphy on our parlays. We had him on one double. We had Colin Murphy, and then we had Anthony Kakachi. Once Colin Murphy lost, we still had Pierce O'Leary to play with, and we had Kakachi to play with. And if you were in the Discord, you would have gotten this bet. So this is another benefit of joining our Discord. This is what we mean by live betting. The live betting component. You could bet live within the fight. Hey, it's round 4. This fight is trending towards a knockout. Wherever you are in the world, check your books. See if you get a knockout play. That sort of thing. Or you could do it this way. I shouldn't have to spoon feed you. You know what I mean? Like if we had a 3-leg parlay and the first of the 3 legs failed, you gotta probably think I'm gonna put the other 2 back on if they haven't played yet. And that's what this is. Pierce O'Leary looked great, by the way. Pierce O'Leary looked legit. Pierce O'Leary fought like he was the main event, by the way. I know that Kakachi was the main event. The Kakachi and Jazza fight was but Pierce O'Leary's performance made that was the one. I was like, holy shit, dude. Remains undefeated from the very opening walk to the opening bell. He was just levels above Maxie. He made Maxie look ordinary. Stopped him. So shout out to Pierce O'Leary, man. He impressed me. Kakachi won. Yep. I always say it. 3 things in life. 3 things are for sure: death, taxes, and Gabby by knockout. All right. So of the parlays we lost, of all the tickets I gave, we lost our long sharp parlay. That one was doomed from the round 2. It was a plus 6,000. What could you expect, right? We lost the parlay with Colin Murphy, the double, but then we made up for it by adding Pierce and Kakachi. And then we lost our UFC 4-legger, but we made up for it as well. So once again, if you're in the Discord during the fights, you would have got this. So I got the UK parlay back and I got the UFC parlay back. And other than that, we hit on everything else. Hindsight's always 2020. For all of the boys out there who picked Kenny Sims Jr., look, Sims was the favorite. You never know how these are going to go. You guys ask me every week, Johnny, how confident are you in these picks? I tell you, I'm not confident at all. I'm never confident in any of my picks. The only thing I'm confident in is the work that I put in. The only thing I'm confident in is the effort, the preparation I put into this. That's what I'm confident in. When I'm placing my money in the hands of a fighter, a young kid I've never met, in order for him to perform, how could I be confident in that? You know what I'm saying? So be confident in the work and the preparation and the effort that you do. That's in anything in life. It's tough to be confident in fighters performing. Now, it went our way. Barbosa Jr., I told you guys all week, I felt like even if he was the favorite, I was going to take him. This was not a value play. This was, we could say it now. It looks like the books got it wrong, considering if you rewatch my Stats Don't Lie breakdown analysis and prediction of this fight, I just felt Sims Jr. was never on Barbosa's level. You looked at Sims Jr.'s resume. You looked at his best wins. Sims Jr.'s best win was in 2021 against a 10-0 Elvis Rodriguez. And, the last time I think we covered Elvis Rodriguez on the channel, he lost a really close decision to Landolfo Delgado. And that could have went either way. But then when we're looking at Arnold Barbosa Jr., man, the guy's been in there, mixed it up in there with the best fighters in the world. I think Sims Jr. should stay at 140. We also talked about he did float back and forth throughout his career from 47 to 40, but he never really had a full fight camp at 47. Those were like stay busy fights prior to this one. This one was a legit fight camp at 47 for Kenny Sims. He just didn't look right. He looked flat. And I think if I were Kenny Sims Jr., I would go back to 40. His body didn't look right. You didn't see any abs on the way in. There were a lot of things from the opening bell that didn't look good. And it just made our pick. We took Barbosa on the money line and Barbosa on points. Both of those hit. We got him at points at plus 175 or plus 190, and we jumped on him early in the week. I put the Barbosa money line early last week. So our long parlay hit, our safety net parlay hit, our dog of the week hit, our pro box parlay hit, everything hit. All right, so this is the segment of the show where I always tell people it's never just about me. It's a community. Shout out to Boxing Finesse. Boxing Finesse says he made $4,000 in his first week with our team. This is a squad effort. If you're not in the JSB Discord, click the link that's pinned in the comments section. Get activated, get involved, and get your paper up. Because Boxing Finesse in his first week is up 4,000. That's what we like to hear. This is from a new JSB insider named Krebo. He says, you did it again. Thanks a lot for always sharing your knowledge with us. I've been paying for your membership for 3 months, and it definitely paid off. You're making us millionaires all the way from South Africa. Been tailing your bets. The Barbosa call made us bank. Shout out to you. And this is just always fun. As soon as the fights end, you go straight to the Discord, and you just see the Discord popping. This was I uploaded this last week. So it's not we're not throwing, for the lack of better analogies, we're not throwing shit at a wall. Hopefully it sticks. We're picking, if you're new to the channel, guys, we are breaking film down, we are breaking careers down. We are picking week in and week out winners after winners based off of what we know of the game, the conversations we have in our group, and the work and the results speak for itself. Shout out to Jay. Green Hat Johnny. I got the fade up. I cut the hair, by the way, boys. I had to take it back to the late 90s with that boy. But so what did he hit? He hit a nice little +1. Wow, look at this hit. He hit plus 1,772. That's a nice hit. We got one for the books. Legendary night. My man laid 500 to make 24,000. Come on, dude. JSB Insiders, we up. The Discord is the real deal. I do not argue with you at all. That's us right now. Shout out to No Limit. No Limit's one of our Aussie high rollers in there. He laid a little wood, 2,400 to win 5,000 on our dog of the week. So I went to bed last night. The Japanese card was taking place, and I woke up with our long parlay hitting. I woke up with our safety net parlay hitting, and these are the tickets. I'll go over them in full. I might as well just read this one out loud. So yeah, another thing I do, guys, if you're new to the game, is you're not only getting my tips, we're getting more organized. Week in and week out, we're getting more organized. We're understanding you guys want full transparency. So before the fights ever start, I post all my tickets. I repost the list so you guys can just go and look. They're always on YouTube or Patreon. And then afterwards, we talk about it. So this is the accountability section. That we talk, and this is pretty much everything we covered. And if you guys see, if you're new to the team and you're seeing like the 2 tickets, shout out to C's, Johnny the GOAT. Greatest $5 a month I've ever spent in my life. Maybe everyone's like, I should up the rates. Boys make a killing this week. I agree. I made thousands of dollars since I joined your Discord. Really, I mean, results are the best. People are like, what's the best marketing? The best marketing is results. If you're delivering a product, this is whatever you guys are doing. If you're creating a product, delivering a product, and the results speak for themselves, that's what we're doing here. And this is already me looking ahead. Google Ennis right now. Google is doing Ennis wrong. He's fighting this week. That's obviously a Bass Morrell who beat him. All right, and now we're caught up. Now I can say what's up to the boys. So I'm going to say what's up to everybody, and then we're going to, like always, we're going to have a look at the fights. This will be my one live stream for today. So this will be our opportunity to talk about our wins, talk about our L's, and then moving forward, I'm uploading my breakdown, prediction, and analysis of Adamas versus Ammo. The fight was supposed to go down a few months back. It got canceled, and we know Ammo has been active since. Adamas hasn't fought. You'll get my breakdown, prediction, and analysis on our fight prediction playlist tomorrow, and I'll be going live twice a day from Tuesday onwards. All right, guys. Johnny hit my parlay. We up. I wanted my 2-ticket Don Valet, Najee, Pierce, Kakashi, Fundora, Dante, Jono. Appreciate you too, Merv. Good hit on John O'Carroll. Way to go opposite the trend. Johnny, the boxing expert. We're all learning, man. This is a learning curve. What's up? This winning thing is becoming. I mean, look at our Darwin. Look what we. It is now the middle of March. Look at all the receipts since January. And I'm learning. We're learning. We're getting better. I never sat here and told you I was an expert. I just sat here and I've been part of boxing my whole life. It's where I've gotten really better at is understanding the strategy. I talk about that all the time. There's one thing with picking winners. There's another thing with understanding the strategy of betting. That's where each week I'm learning. Johnny made $1,000 since I joined you and Gary Discord. I wish I could give you all. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're finding value in both of our discords, man. Both have a lot of value. But Johnny Sims is gonna outwork Barbosa and who's isn't that funny they were saying that? Somebody said that. I obviously wasn't playing that game. Might be the greatest $6 investment. $6 investment, man. Join our community. Johnny says boxing. Dwayne Styles in the house. My boy D Wayne. Canelo. Barbosa. Man, I've never seen AB fight like that. And Sims, what happened? And Sims fight was the only fight I got wrong. So it's not a popular opinion. I like Arnold Barbosa Jr. I like his fight style. I've always liked his fight style. I like it. Boxing for me is a thinking man sport. I like a guy who has to use his mind to win. That's what you see. And he looked good at 47. I think this is just an example of moving up a weight class for one guy really suits him. Upon other things, we'll get to that. And then another guy who had fought there before, his body didn't respond. And if I'm Sims, I'd stay at 40. Shout out to Barbosa, though. Abel Sanchez brought in Abel Sanchez and did this fight camp up at Big Bear in Elevation. So these are things that we always talk about when you're looking at which fighter you're cheering for, which fighter you're putting your money on. You know, sometimes the difference in picking the right fighter comes down to the research you do, the behind the scenes research you do on not just the fight tape. If you want to win consistently, you can't just watch fight tape. At this stage of the game, when I've seen Kenny's career, when I see Barbosa's career, I don't have to watch fight tape. You know what I mean? I've already seen all their fights. So what I'm doing is I'm sending messages out to sparring partners, to coaches. Where's he doing his camp? What's the weight look like? What's his strength and conditioning look like? So this is, and maybe this is why you guys come to me. You know what I'm saying? We're approaching 28,000 YouTube subs. We're approaching 450 JSB insiders. We just started the Patreon. We're approaching 100 in there. The Instagram's at about 43K. It's just advice I give to anybody. If you're trying to learn something, don't just learn it on the surface level. Peel that onion open. There's always a deeper level to learn. And Arnold Barbosa Jr., Abel Sanchez link up, dude. Barbosa Jr. going up to the mountains, Big Bear, elevation training. All you had that. And he also, I should mention, it's not easy for a fighter to get embarrassed on the world level in front of the whole world and be man enough to level up. That might sound crazy. Barbosa Jr., that performance he put on against Teofimo Lopez, he said it himself. He was in a dark place. Now, we've seen in the past fighters who get embarrassed or get defeat like that in a big fight. Sometimes they don't respond well. This is why it's going to be interesting to see how Teofimo responds with what happened to him against Shakur. Now, we knew going into this fight, Barbosa had made some changes with his camp. He moved up a weight class. He was the underdog. When you saw that version of him, though, against Kenny, I think maybe the 5th round onwards, he was already winning. You started seeing him moving differently. Like, I'm seeing he took something from the Teofimo loss. It's hard to watch a loss. You know, if he was sitting right here, I'd like to ask him if he watched the tape. It looks to me he watched this tape against Teo because I saw I saw a level that he increased to with his movement, his the lack of predictability with his angles, his entrances, his perpetual motion, and just he had a confidence in his work, in his optics, round in and round out. He had a different sort of appearance to his work that we hadn't seen before, that it was almost like a machismo. You know, he's always been a proud and confident guy, but sometimes in the ring, I would never say like he would cower in moments in, either win or lose close rounds. This time, he was like, because sometimes in close fights, guys, optics matter to the judges, how your physical non-verbal communication looks. And ABJ, dude, that version, he's on his toes, he's talking shit, like all that thing. I was like, dude, that's him leveling up. Adding levels doesn't always mean, you know, changing technique or adding a punch to your arsenal. Sometimes adding levels to your game are all the things we just talked about. Ranvar, another insane week. 21 to 22. My man's an animal. UFC had a lot of feeder fights yesterday too. Great odds. Yeah. So of the two parlays I put out there, the four-legger, I missed one fight. I got wrong on the Brad Tavares fight. I did not think Eric Anders would beat Brad Tavares, but he did. And then we got the triple right. I doubled down on my boy Charles Johnson. I've known Charles Johnson since 2019. I interviewed Charles Johnson. The first time I interviewed him was 2018, regional MMA guy. I knew that he came out of that Midwest St. Louis area, and then I watched him. I remember how stoked I was for him in 2022 when he won the LFA title, and this was after he had lost to Brandon Royval in the LFA. And I was like, dude, there's something about this kid that he could be great. And people wrote him off. Bruno was a tough matchup, and he won another close fight. It's good, he has two knockout wins over Josh, who's the champion, and Lonnie Kavanaugh, who we just saw dominate Brandon Moreno. So yeah, the UFC. I don't think the UFC's in a good spot though. That's a whole nother chat we should have. Who lost? Yeah, Brad Tavares was the only guy I lost in the UFC. King says he's attending the Adamas Hammer fight. Dude, that's great. We'll pull up those odds in a second. We'll talk about that card all week. We have fights in the UK as well. I just don't. I think this is an example of a boxer and an athlete. I'm not high on ammo, dude. I'm not high on ammo at all. Yeah, that was the only loss. Murphy got me for that. You bet $2,400 on Colin Murphy? That's insane. I hope you did not bet. I only put Colin Murphy on a double. You guys even asked me during the week because you saw that I didn't put Colin Murphy. I didn't put him on my parlay. He wasn't on our long parlay. He wasn't on our safety net parlay. Colin Murphy only appeared once on my bets, and that was on that double with Kakashi. Because it's, C level, B level. So you bet 2,400 on Murphy. That's insane, bro. You a savage. Willie Hutch versus Ezra. Oh, Hutch. Ezra's just this wasn't supposed to be Ezra Taylor's fight. Ezra takes it. I don't think he's on that level. What's your early lean Adamas dog walks ammo? Oh, does it go the distance? Probably not. Shout out to you. Shout out for the super chat. Guys, if you guys are up, y'all can super chat me, boy. Thanks, Rando Light. $10 super chat. JSB Insider. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not high on ammo at all. Thoughts on Tyson Fury? I haven't really thought about it. I'm not big on that fight. We got so many other good fights to talk about. I don't want to talk about a cash grab for Tyson. His gas tank looked good. Guys, I have a huge feeling that Adamas will fight Lara after beating Ammo, and Bentley will fight Janabek either in December after he gets to tune up. He fights Janabek. Janabek Alam Hunalay. Well, Alam Hunalay just got stripped for popping. Adamas Lara is a good fight, dude. Lara, the never aging Erislandy Lara. It's wild that Ammo's put himself back in this position. Shout out to Ammo. Johnny, maybe too early, but do you got an idea who may win the UFC main event? Interesting fight, honestly. Lerone Murphy versus who's Lerone fighting? Can he defend? He has good hips. He has a good sprawl. Great athlete. Thing about Lerone Murphy is there's certain guys who stick to a game plan who are technical, and he could do that. But he also has the ability to be creative in there. Not all technicians could be creative when you look at their work. And I think that makes Lerone Murphy always an X factor. Ranvar with the super chat. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the Barbosa pick. The brother bet on a pre-fight, then round 2 when I saw Williams Simpsons fighting. Yeah, good, man. And for me, the unfortunate thing on my end is, and this is gonna sound weird, is I don't like degrading. You don't hear me degrade fighters. And I've cheered. I've watched Kenny Sims Jr.'s career. I watched him have to rebuild. I bet on him to beat Duarte. That wasn't his best fight. That's not who he is. He did not look well. If you're in our Discord during the live chat, I said that after round 1. I just said Sims doesn't look right. Something operational looked off. And we're picking these fights, and we talked about, dude, sickle cell anemia is a disease that affects your energy system, your immunity. It affects your central nervous system. People die from sickle cell, and Kenny Sims Jr. lives with sickle cell. It has to be mentioned. When we're betting our hard-earned money on a fighter to win or lose, you have to mention this. If you know a guy is going into a fight with some sort of deterrence, for you not to mention it's crazy. I knew that going into the Duarte fight. I felt the A side, the politics of it, the home cooking, the Chicago, the step up. I thought that would be enough to carry Sims. But then the reason why, and it wasn't, he lost a majority decision, which it might not even have been that close. But that version who fought Duarte was not the version who fought Barboza. He didn't look right. Something definitely looked off. And maybe he just had a bad camp. Maybe his his health issues were acting up. Either way, Barbosa Jr. fought well, fought mean. It was a good performance by ABJ, and he needed it. We'll see where you go. We'll see where both guys go from here. If I was Barbosa, I'd obviously say 47. If I'm Sims Jr. and he wants to rebuild, he'll get big fights. Go back to 140, dude. Oh, he's fighting Evelev. That's a tough fight, man. That's a tough fight. It's hard for me to pick against the Miracle, though. It's hard for me to pick against the Miracle. The Miracle seems to have that sort of... There's certain guys who come up. I've been watching him for a long time. We're talking about Lerone Murphy. There's a bit of shine to him. There's almost like that. It's a matter of time before he becomes a champion. I like Lerone Murphy in that fight. Who do you think wins Murphy? Yeah, I like Lerone Murphy. I don't know the odds. We'll have a look at the odds. I think Lerone Murphy has enough skills. I think he's skilled enough, athletic enough, definitely talented enough to be able to take that game plan from Evelev that everybody knows what he's going to do, and I think he's going to be able to work through that. I'm going to sprinkle $200. Keith and Ezra. Go for it. Yeah, I definitely. I think Keith gets. I don't have a lot of hopes for guys. Keith is 37 years old. He's fought twice since 2019. He's fought twice in 7 years. How much credence are you giving his win over Brock Jarvis? If I'm acting like the Brock Jarvis fight didn't happen. Why, you ask? Brock Jarvis got stopped at 140 pounds against Liam Paro. At 140 pounds. He then goes up to 154 to fight Keith Thurman a few months back here in Australia. In Thurman's legs, Thurman didn't look great. I mean, he stopped Brock Jarvis at 54. But you don't have to watch the whole... it's only 9 minutes. How he was moving didn't look good to me. I think Seb dominates him. So I'm betting on... I get why it's the value play. I'm probably going to take Seb by stoppage. I think you got to understand, the longer you're in boxing, it's important to know the timeline of a fighter. People talk about Brian Mendoza. He got hit with a punch, dude. He was 21 years old. What has he done since? You're telling me, the bettors are telling me, the one shot by Brian Mendoza when he was 21 years old is enough to negate all the other times we have seen him battle back against Zoo, the bloodbath, him stopping Zoo. None of that exists. None of that happens. And because that one punch against Mendoza happened, and Mendoza is a tough guy, dude. People act like Mendoza's not a dog. And because that happened, we then just forget about Keith Thurman is 5'7", 5'8". He's 37. He's fought once, really, in 7 years. But he's an all-time great. One of the greatest 147. Yeah, dude. When you were going through puberty, he was good. things change. You guys must be leaning on the fact that Seb Fundora, since the one punch against Mendoza, hasn't leveled up, hasn't gotten better, hasn't become a world champion multiple times over, hasn't stepped one foot in the gym, hasn't trained, hasn't developed his muscle, hasn't developed his conditioning, hasn't developed his durability, hasn't grown into his man strength. All of these things have happened. Like, this is crazy. I think this is easy money. I think Keith gets dominated. I'm a Keith Thurman guy 10 years ago. You can't disappear from this sport. This is a young man's sport. What happened to Nito Donaire last night? Where are all my Nito Donaire guys? Everybody's winning. Where's your slips? I told you I didn't bet that fight. And I didn't post my Japanese parlay because I didn't want you guys bitching about it. But I won in Japan too. I didn't post it though because I didn't. It was only a plus 100. I took Matsumoto, Iwata, and Olasquaga by knockout. But I was in bed and I didn't want to. When you do as much as I do, man, by last night, it was like I was freaking burned out, dude. But I stayed away from the Nonito Donaire fight all in all. He ends up getting stopped in the ninth. Boxing's a young man's sport, dude. A 6'6" slugger? A 6'6" slugger against a 5'8" 37-year-old. I don't know, boys. If take Keith, take him. And if Keith wins, I will be happy for him. But this is not a. I have to go with where I think where I'm going to win you money. I have to choose inside. And you guys know this will be a perfect example for you guys not to say I'm a dog hunt. Like, Johnny, you always try to pick underdog. No, I actually don't. I'm just good at picking underdogs. I don't think this dog is live. I think this dog is going to get put down. Now, if Keith was 29, if everything was the same, and Seb is Seb, and Keith is Keith, but Keith isn't 37, it's 2019 Keith, I would take Keith. I would take Keith. These 7 years, what does that do to your legs? What's that do to your mind? What's that do to your durability? What's that do to your output? What's that do to your punch resistance? What's that do to your engine? What's that do to your endurance? What's that do to your mind? All of these things, dude. It's a good story, though, if he wins. Let's go. Now I had 100. Okay. Okay, so he didn't lose you 2,400. You lost the $100 bet. You got Rudy, we got to frame it that way, because if you don't frame it that way, then you're leaving thinking that you lost 20. It was never your money, baby. We got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Yeah, you lost $100, man. These are part of the games. It sucks. I wish you would have won. I took Column too. I thought he could have got the decision. Jono just had a little bit of spunk to his work from round 6 onwards. I thought we had that in the bag after rounds 3 and 4. And it was almost like Colin Murphy lost belief in himself. I did not think that the last thing I thought that was going to happen happened. It looked like he started doubting himself. And I was like, man, this kid's 26 years old, hungry, just won a Commonwealth title at 126, never lost. In my breakdown, one of the factors I was leaning on Colin was the fearlessness component. You're going up against a kid who's never lost. And then you saw in the 5th round, 6th round, I don't know if you got caught with something, and all the rounds were close. I feel like we lost by one judge, by the way, Rudy. We lost by one judge. It was a split decision. It was just like there was just like when you talk about a guy edging rounds, it was just like by a fraction. And I wasn't confident going into the judges reading the scorecards that we were going to get the dub. So I only put him on that one ticket. Damn, I wish you would have won though, big dog. Johnny, you got to send me your address. I want to mail you my color. Oh, bro, 100%. I would give you one of my pro jerseys. Where'd you go to college, King? I'll put that joint right in the back. Because I got my book. So those are my books. That's my press release. That's just my table that is, my college hat. Yeah, I'll put that in the back. Mario in the house. My boy Kelly Pavlik back there. What do you think about LeBron? Dude, I like Aaron Pico. I'm an Aaron Pico fan. Aaron Pico, man, when we're talking about full on absolute genetic stud athletes, Aaron, dude, this is why, like, if you guys ever want to come to a channel to talk shit about fighters, if you ever want to come to a channel to hear the host uh be negative about fight, this isn't that channel. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm an optimist. I think that had something to do with growing up as a kid, being on welfare with three sisters, and my parents were young. We never had anything. And so it was either in that moment as a young boy, always hungry. I tell these stories now to my mom. She gets sad. I'm like, dude, I say these out of this is a positive thing. You know, we made it through. But I think as a young person going through that adversity, unbeknownst to the young person, you either frame the world in one of two ways. You either frame the world as the world is against me, or you frame the world in no matter how bad it is, you could find a sparkle. So I think that if I'm psychoanalyzing my background and who I am as a man and who I've always been growing into this modern version of myself, I see the good in everything. Especially fighters. Aaron Pico is a freaking dog, dude. He's chinny. He's got knocked out. I don't care. Dude, you put that kid in a training. Have you ever seen him train? That kid is a freak athlete. And he gets stopped because he's willing, because his fight IQ is, he's just has a dog in him. How do you, Aaron Pico could fight for the next 10 years. I'm tuning into every Aaron Pico fight. That was a, dude, that was a tough matchup for Lerone Murphy. And for Lerone Murphy to find that knockout, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Lerone Murphy found that. Found it. Amongst all that, dude, you guys have to understand how fast, explosive, how quick reflexes Aaron Pico has. Like, this guy is a freak of nature. And Lerone Murphy, you know, a lot of other guys would have been overwhelmed by all that, and he still found it, dude. Lerone Murphy, a whole dog. And so's Aaron Pico, man. I can't wait to see him fight again. I've been watching Pico since the Bellator days. When my boy, shout out to my boy who beat him when Aaron was 19, a kid who was training out of South Florida. God damn it. He was training with my boy, Dr. Corey Peacock at Sanford MMA, the old Black Zillions gym. His name will come to me. And Pico was 18 or 19, 4 to 5 to 1 favorite. I think he got subbed. He might have got knocked out. This would have been 2020. What's up, Let? What's up with a J? Just had to stop by to say thank you for your service. May God continue. Appreciate you, man. God bless you as well. That's a beautiful thing to wish upon me, man. I say thank you for that. Sub Johnny Barbosa by decision. Wild work. Bobby Flood first round knockout. I didn't get that. I didn't get that option. Super what looks a good product. Can I get your thoughts on Akoli Ayoka? Surely if Yoka not on PDs, Akoli wins. What happened? Dude, Yoka is the same guy, man. This is a guy, storied amateur, Olympian. I'm not comfortable with, if we're categorizing this as a domestic level UK dust up, I don't have an opinion yet. I got to look at the odds. Guys, if everyone had a microphone, are there fight cards that make you more nervous than a UK fight card when you're betting on them? You know what I mean? Like, and then UK fight cards for me are the most stressful. They always are. Mike from Melbourne, sent from Pet. O'Kelly better win that fight. I think so too. We got some super chats coming in, boys, girls. Thank you. Exactly. I saw someone say if Boots beats Size, then he's the best in 154. I saw someone say if Boots beats Xander, then he's the best at 154. Yeah, what? Dude, why do people I don't understand the Seb Fundora hate, dude. Like, there's so much to like about Sebastian Fundora in and out of the ring, if you're a fan of the sport. Yeah, I'm not here to go back and forth if people are bums. That's not what we want to do here, is it? He will clinch Yoka. What do you think of the co-main? Frank said that fight's off. Frank Sanchez pulled out due to inflammation in his knee. I think he must be talking about Colin Murphy, not Lerone Murphy. Boots is the best at 154. I mean, we saw him fight once so far. We just want Boots active. I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to stand in the middle of the road and argue that Jerron isn't one of the best in the world. But at the same time, we are educated, astute purveyors of the sport. We are educated, we are astute, we are distinguished gentlemen of the sweet science. So we're not going to rush and say with one fight at 154 he's the greatest. Why? Because we're gentlemen. We know that we need to see him more active. We know we need to see him tested. We know we're not boxing casuals or fanboys of fighters. We don't cheer for fighters. We cheer for the sport. So I don't think I know many guys who would stand in the street with me and say that Jerron Ennis isn't one of the best at 154. But I also don't know many guys who would stand in the street and say that he is. Not at least who I hang out with. We want to see Jerron more active. We know how talented he is. We know what skills he brings into the ring. My favorite thing about Ennis isn't even the physical side. It's his mind. He has a savant boxing mind. How he's able to operate in there, use his distance, and then he just happened to be the son of a former fighter. Good camp, Bozy. I want to see him more active. And it's just getting frustrating watching the politics take another year of their primes away from us. Jerron versus Virgil. What a firefight. What would Jerron be able to withstand that pressure from Virgil? Would Virgil be able to get through the front door against Jerron? There's so many questions, man. How would Virgil handle the athleticism and power of Jerron? How would Jerron handle the body punching and the shots Virgil's going to impose? Just also the optics Virgil imposes in there. Two great fighters. That when this fight takes place, the internet will be divided. But remember, when you come to this channel, you will only hear bipartisan approach on it. They're both savages. They're both alphas. They're both at the top of the game. And as fight fans, we deserve to see that fight. Jerron is the king. He fought Lima for the IBO title in 150. We just want to see him more active. Hey, the big fella. So we got a new JSB Insider. We're slowly getting to 450 VIPs. Big Parlay Jones Jr., you're the newest JSB Insider. I'm going to post the Discord link right now. So Parlay Jones, if you're still on this live stream, go to the YouTube members only section right now. And I'm posting our Discord link if you haven't in there now. Okay, invite, copy, post, members only, Discord link. It's a one-off Discord link. You can't share it. If you do share it, it'll let me know, and then you'll get kicked out of our group. Yay! Yeah, don't share it. I know you're a gentleman. What's up, David? So David says, I still haven't done my footage on Keith. He's different, though. Some people can just come back and get it done. At the end of the day, it's fighting. It's not. It's boxing. It's not just fighting. It's boxing. There's a lot that comes with it. Two different things. Fighting and boxing, two different things. At their bet, I still don't think we even know how good Fundora is. We just saw his sister, Gabby Fundora, once again show another level to her game. These kids live at a gym. The family built a boxing compound. They built a facility. This is all they know. And there's another one. There's another Fundora. The Fighting Fundora is coming up, another girl. And to think that Sebastian Fundora is the kid who lost to Brian Mendoza, you'd be ill-advised. I could tell you one thing, though. The 37-year-old Keith is not the 29-year-old Keith. That's a fact. Guys, wherever you are in the world, like this video. We're floating between 40 and 70, depending on this. I keep seeing it go up, go down. I'm getting dizzy. Like the video, hit subscribe. Let me know how you're doing. Join our Discord. It's a couple bucks a month. It's pinned. Hit the super chat up. Let your boy know that he's doing you a good service. And other than that, we're going to keep this ball rolling. I got time today, boys. If there's any JSB insiders who want to come on, I'll send you the link. Let's do a live. We haven't done a live call-in in a while. And then we'll pull up some odds in a second. Thurman's only chance of stopping Fundora early. I mean, okay. I love this chat. John Locke, what's up, playa? Let's talk about some facts first. Let's talk about some motherfucking facts first. Keith Thurman, 31-1. Of his 31 wins, 23 of them come by way of knockout. He's 37 years old. He's 5'9.5" with a 69-inch reach. He fought Brock Jarvis March 25th last year. Fought Mario Barrios in 2022. He fought Manny Pacquiao in 2019. And then from there, this is like the run he went on. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Cayazzo, the Ghost Guerrero. This little run here. But then he just disappeared. This was almost a decade ago. I'm not doing it. There's no way. There's no way I'm taking him over Seb. (23-1-1). Mendoza. And then he drew with somebody back in the day. Jamonte. I don't see it. Oh, he's the big dog. What's up, Parlay? Let's see what these odds are spitting at us. How about Cleveland lost today to Dallas, man? You guys have no idea what it's like being a Cleveland sports fan. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, Cleveland Indians, and Cleveland Cavs. Horrible. Granted, Jared Allen's hurt. They lost to a 22-win Dallas Mavericks team at home. It's unfortunate. So we got. I'm already This is the action coming up this weekend. Mick Conlan's fighting. Jimmy Sains is fighting. We've won money. George Fasoli's fighting. George Litter could crack. Ennis Tejas is coming back. Tejas fights twice in 2 weeks, guys. Does that bother anybody? Ennis Tejas is coming off the loss to Morrell. Is fighting Miles Mizell this weekend. And then next weekend, he's on the undercard of Keith Thurman. Lester Martinez. Everybody should be aware of the Guatemalan Lester Martinez fight of the year against Christian and Billy. Trains at B&B Boxing with Bomac in Omaha. And then Adames versus Ammo. Therein lies the question. Does Carlos Adames stop Ammo? Does Ammo tuck his chin? Does he work on moving out of the pocket, not on straight lines? Does he keep his lead hand up? Does he beat Adames? Does Adames win on points because he's rusty? Adames hasn't fought in a while. Is Adames going to want to just go in there and get round? All of these questions. Right now, I'm kind of 60-40 Adames on points. I'm kind of 60-40 Adames on points based off of activity. We haven't seen Adames since Shiraz. And at least Ammo, he fought Windy Toussaint, when Adames pulled out in the 11th hour. So that sort of activity, he's fighting for a world title. I think Ammo, this would be the best version of Ammo. Maybe he catches Adames flat-footed. Maybe he catches Adames underrating him. Dare I say, any of you guys taking the dogs? I'm not. I think I like the points here though. I think right now I think Ammo should be seasoned enough now to be able to go to the cards with Carlos. Plus 180 is the move. Adamas on the money line is a decent parlay piece anyway, so I might do a couple different things here. And look at this. See, it has all the boys are torn. Even the books right now have it. Will the fight go the distance? Yes, no. It's very possible that I mean Adamas could be under. Do you think that he could be underrating Ammo? It's a lean. Like if you, a lot of you guys are sharp, so you guys are bet looking for leans, looking for like plays in terms of like an angle to double down on. It's what we do here. We find you the leans, we find you the angles. It is an angle. It should be spoken about. Carlos pulled out of the last fight. I think it was food poisoning issues. Carlos hasn't, his last fight was a draw, even though I thought he put belt to ass to Shiraz. Thank God he didn't get stripped. That was a disservice that they called it a draw. I had him, what, seven? Yeah, he won. He definitely won from rounds 5 onwards. Pulls out of the fight short notice against Ammo. Ammo fights Windy Toussaint. Windy didn't do that bad, having taken the fight on 10 days' notice. Does Adamas come in flat? Does he come rusty? And with Ammo's style, Ammo's going to jump on him. So Ammo's fun to watch, man. Like it, just because I pick against him, I like watching. He's fun to watch, but he's frustrating to watch because you're looking at a kid who's learning on the job. You're looking at an athlete who's learning to box. You know what I mean? We've seen him have fantastic viral performances before. We've seen him get stopped before. We've seen him go out on a shield before. He's picked himself back up. He's fighting for a world title now. You gotta assume the game plan is gonna get out on that damn front foot in classic Ammo Williams fashion and jump on Adamas, hoping that you're catching him rusty. That could happen. Oh, he's a Terp. Terp. ACC days too, boy. I went to Pitt for 2 years. I think we spoke about this. I went to Pitt when they were in the Big East, so early 2000s. I think Maryland at the time wasn't in the Big Ten. They were in the ACC. That's like Steve Blake days. What you know about Steve Blake Maryland days, boy? I'm an old head. Yeah, I'm betting on this fight. Yeah, George Litter versus Tyler Denny. I'm betting on that fight for sure. People are so quick to take David Morrell here, man. I'm not one of them. I'm not. I'm not one of them right now. Has David Morrell really looked great since he moved up to 74? Has he been a world beater since he moved up to 74? He had that feeling out fight with Benavidez, which it's safe to say, you know, especially seeing what Benavidez just did to Anthony Yard. Benavidez has figured out that weight class. And then some dude, Amon Khatiev might have beat David Morrell. And Amon Khatiev, only what, 11 pro fights, had him hurt. Smith is a real seasoned vet. I'm not high on Dave. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's look at the odds. Yeah. I think, guys, I think Callum Smith is big, seasoned, well versed enough to win this fight. I am not confident in David Morrell. Where's this fight at? I don't like what he's looked like since he's gone up. Callum Smith, 31-2, 22 knockouts. He's been stopped once. He got stopped against Better Beav in the 7th. 6'3", 78-inch reach. I mean, his only losses are to Canelo and Better Beav. You know, bro. Morrell 12-1. 12-1. Who's Morrell's best win? Hot Rod. Hot Rod wins a good win. That wasn't at 174 though. Stopped Becco in the second early, jumped on him. The David Benavidez loss, and as of now, it's because he won a split against Katiev, the Amon Katiev win. I don't know, man. I think Callum Smith could drag this fight in the mid to late rounds. I think Callum Smith could take this into deep waters and win this fight. That's all I'm saying. That's not my official. It's not my official right now, but if I had to say, gun to my head, put your wallet on who, I would take Callum right now. I know I do need to. We have a month. That's just my. That's not my official, but that's my initial. We do have a month. It should be noted. David Morrell has changed camps. I need to do my research, guys. I live week to week with this sort of stuff, so I'm not going to do any sort of deep dive, unpeel the onion research until fight week of said fight. Okay, we have Carlos Adames versus Ammo this week with other fights, the George Liddard card in the UK. So all of my deep dive research is going to be on this week, but it's a valid question. My mind has been on it. April 18th, I think, is the fight. What's up, Rob Lee? Yeah, everyone was eating. Good weekend. Ever love Raleigh. Oh shit. So you think we gotta have a chat then, Skills? Jerron is the king unless Bud comes back. We gotta have a chat. You think so? Lerone Murphy is dead in the water there. I'll pull up the odds in a second. Kevin Newman versus Garcia. Eddie Hearns isn't making boots in necessity to fight, making boots in Kelly, UK or US. He would have did boots for a spin. Bro, boots versus Kelly's a fun fight. Bro, dude, they could pack out Wembley. Bring boots over to the UK. Pack out a football stadium for him and PBK. That's a fun fight. Of course, we want to see Virgil, but hell, you don't understand how tricky of a guy Josh Kelly is until you're in there with a guy like that. And they're both awkward. They're both reflex guys. That would be a fun dude to watch. Kelly and Ennis in the ring would be insane for me. Two of my favorite fighters. Yeah. Yo, guys, is wild. I feel like you shouldn't count out Keith. I'm not counting out Keith, but it's a young man sport. I think Fundora could stop Keith. You think he can knock Fundora out? Let's go. Terramona, my guy. Curtis Harbor this weekend. Yeah. Terramona, because he's only had nine, I think this is his nine. What is he, 9-0? He doesn't have 10 fights. He's a big heavyweight, a lot of steam coming from the amateurs. Not a lot of people are putting their hands up to fight him, though. So as fans, we could be really critical about the matchmaking, but we have to understand, we have to learn to look at the entire landscape of matchmaking. It's not just promoters and coaches and managers setting the fights. The fighter also has to put their goddamn hand up, and not many people are trying to fight Terramona. The dude has cement in his hands, dynamite, massive, athletic, long, aggressive. So yeah, for the time being, expect to get Terramona as minus 2,000 odds. The only way you find value on Terramona is something like this: 1-4, 1-3. At least at this stage of his career. This is another element of strategy with betting. Like Gabby Fundora, for instance, the only way to find value on her, the books have caught up to our scheme. 2 years ago, they didn't know about our scheme. Our scheme was take Gabby Fundora by knockout. We've been taking Gabby by knockout for so long. We used to get it at almost plus money. Her last fight yesterday against Ruiz was down to $1.27. So the only way now to find value on Gabby is by knockout, but you have to pick around 1-6 or over 5.5 sort of thing. So Terramona, same sort of thing. And this is the strategy. This is what you learn. Arnold Barbosa Jr. on points. You already get him at plus money as the dog. You better be taking him on points. Tejas is with news. You might expect him not too much damage and stop his first opponent. Mendoza haven't fought in a while. Yeah, I agree. I rate Mendoza. Was Mendoza's last fight the loss to Tim? It seemed like a long time ago. I could easily pull it up, but I don't like using the internet with these sort of things. I do a lot of I write every day. You guys know I'm an author. I speak every day, obviously. I do a lot of work for my brain in recovery. So it's really important for me to not rely on technology for my memory. And these sort of things, I could easily pull the internet up to see if Mendoza fought, but I like trying to figure it out in my own head. I don't know. I know we haven't seen. He hasn't been. Have we seen him since the Tim Tszyu fight? I think we should put Adamas by decision. Yeah, sent from Pet. That is my intuitive pick. I will make that official on Wednesday. So give me 48 hours. First loss can be by knockout, but I've seen many second losses come on points. I see Carlos winning on point. Rob Palmer. This is what as a squad, the collective squad, 3 fights in 10 years won't cut it. Big Parlay Jones, I'm siding with you on that. It's now 3 fights in 10 years. You go pro at 18. You have a horrific injury. Maybe you have an illness. Now you're 28 and you're getting your career back on track. This happens. There's a kid who fights out of LA who fights on those Hollywood Fight Night cards in Long Beach. This happened to him. I think he might have got locked up for like 5 years. But at 28, 29, he's a Hispanic fighter. Very fun fighter. I wish I could remember his name. We won money on him about 7 months ago. And he didn't skip a beat. He didn't skip a beat. He had all this time off, and he's still in his physical prime. This isn't that. Fundora is 30, or Keith is 37 now. All that inactivity, guys, especially so here's another thing. If you've never boxed before, and the last thing I ever want to do is make anyone feel inferior about having never stepped in the ring, but understanding dimensions and understanding the problem that's in front of you when the fight starts is a massive thing to deal with when you're fighting a guy who's 6'6", who's a puncher, who's a southpaw, who has a 12-inch reach advantage and almost a 12-inch height advantage in Fundora. So that's what Keith is going to be standing in front of. That alone, that problem is going to take any fighter time to figure out, unless you just run in and bull rush. And Keith is too smart for that. Keith is going to have to use his angles. He's going to have to figure out his range. He's going to have to work and get on the inside. Definitely not fight Seb at Seb's range. And he's, work the body and hopefully he lands. There are so many. If Keith Thurman is really as great as Keith says he is, he'll win. Is he? At 37, man, fuck, dude, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see him having the explosivity. I don't see him having the feet. I don't see him having the power. I don't see him having the gas tank. I don't see him having the skills at 37 to do it. Ennis fought Kendo Tremendo. Everybody fights Kendo Tremendo. Kendo Castaneda. Everybody fights Kendo. Kendo's a real veteran, dude. I doubt Adamas would underestimate him. I don't think he underestimated Gaucher. I'm a big fan. Isn't Gaucher fighting again? Shout out to Terrell Gaucher. Let's say he did. He still fought well for someone who underestimated a fighter. Yeah, we're just looking for leans right now. This is Kanye from Omaha. What's up, Bando? We up again, brother. Salute. And I got Fundora on the live ticket still with Gabby Barbosa on Moneyline Knockout. I think he will be undisputed 154. Nice, man. Nice. Appreciate you here, Bando. Appreciate you here. Adamas ammo distance. I like it. What's up, Depp? My guy. High interest. Seb Moneyline. Giorgio Moneyline. Jimmy Sains. I like it. Now, I like it. You're in plus money for sure there. What is that, plus 200? Pre-pullout, I was picking Adamas, but Adamas has a rep for not doing his weight properly. So now, if anything, I'd lean ammo. What do you mean he has a rep for not doing his weight properly? I mean, I don't. Has Adamas missed weight before? I mean, I don't take any credence to what anybody says about any fighter that they heard about them in fight camp. Like whatever anybody who isn't the fighter says about another fight, I only take credence in what I see in performances. I only judge a fighter by what they show me in the ring. Now, if it's all good, what I see in the ring, how can I judge them for anything else? When those cracks start to show and it goes from all good to then going to some bad, then I start judging them. Not much in Adamas's work that I've seen that I could judge. He looked great against Shiraz. Morrell by knockout. I don't know, man. I think I like Callum to beat Morrell. Thoughts on Zerto Benavidez? Money line, maybe on points. Zerto's a big dude. Katiev was on that Oscar Duarte, though. Katiev been on that Duarte boy. Been on that Osterine joint. Katiev's neck is like this, dude. Katiev... he got popped. The goddamn... What's the federation out of Russia? The IBA in Russia has suspended him. They knew that, though, and they still let him fight in his last fight. Boxing's a Wild West, boy. You're right, Morrell struggled with Hot Rod Benavidez and Katiev. I mean, come on, man. He just hasn't looked good at 74. Thoughts on UFC White House card? We'll talk about it when we get there, big fella. I think Ilya Tapora, that's probably a smart lean. Top dog. Hopefully Thurman doesn't gas out. It should be a good fight. Yep. Buenos noches, JSB family. My guy, you have a good night as well, Dwayne. Stay up. Gachet fighting Yo-Yo. That's a good fight, man. That's flying under the radar. When is that going down? Dude, Terrell Gachet's taking... Dude, fight. This is a tough fight for Terrell. Cleveland, Ohio in the house, baby. You got to... You know I'm loyal to my Northeast Ohio fighters. He's already 38 years old. I don't see it on BoxRec. That Elijah Garcia fight. I mean, we won money, but Elijah Garcia might have lost that fight. Alex Pereira versus Gabe. Is that official? Gabe hasn't even made his debut yet. Oh, Cyril gone. I'm not going to pick against Brazil versus France. No offense to the French. Come on, man. Politan. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, Johnny, what's the deal? What's cracking high interest? Is it Adamas by this? I think it is. I think it is. When I make it official, you guys will know. I might jump on Callum early to Callum Smith at one. You know what? I'm gonna wait. You know how we like to play the market? Playing the market is another street, guys. You know we're a betting academy, right? I don't just teach you who wins. We're teaching you the strategies of how to win, markets, how to pick up patterns, when to jump, when not to jump, wait, boom, let's do it. When I'm looking at this, I bet you all the money is going to be coming in on Morrell. So I am going to wait. The minute I see Callum Smith as a dog, I'm going to jump on it. I think Callum beats Morrell. Callum's just going to have to navigate those first 4 or 5 rounds. That's when a guy like Morrell is always dangerous early. Explosivity, power. But Smith has been in there with guys, man. That's a fun fight, dude. That's a fight that we get to look forward to. Whatever, you know, and it's not my official pick yet. I still might go Morrell. I want to see who he's doing his camp with. Where are we at? Keep me on track. Adamas. All right, yeah, we looked at this once. Okay. If you're $1.31 is decent as a parlay piece, just by itself on the money line. I'm probably gonna make right now, and this is why our chat's always up, because we lean on each other for this sort of thing. Plus 180 on points is great. Plus 180 on points is great. How aggressive will Austin be? What, like, Austin ammo? He didn't look awful against Windy Toussaint. He didn't look great though. Windy Toussaint's a bit tricky too. Like last minute replacements are always tricky, especially when Ammo thought he was fighting for a world title. You know what I mean? That in itself is deflating when you're in fight week and you've lost before, you built yourself back up, you're getting an opportunity to fight for a world title, and then you find out your opponent pulled out. That in itself, he might not admit it, but getting a late replacement opponent, having to then pick yourself back up mentally, it's a tough thing to do. Was there residual kind of hangover from that against Windy Toussaint? Yeah, people were thinking, and he fought. People sleep on Patrice Volney too. Patrice Volney's a tough Canadian long fighter. Ammo went the distance. Ammo went the distance with Windy. I think Ammo could go the distance. I like Carlos on points here, guys. Willy Wonka, team effort, team effort. You know that. We are a team. We are a squad. However, you can support the channel. Super chat, like this video, 50 and 70 in here. Join our Discord, become a JSB Insider, get all the picks, get all the tips, get members only live streams, get access to the Discord. More importantly, the Discord during a live fight is the best place to be. Shout out to Kyle Hayden for streaming the Japanese fights last night as well. I still can't believe I got Barbosa at once. Hey man, it's like March Madness. We gotta win and move on. There were guys in our chat who picked Sims though. So you had a good eye for it, brother. You had a good eye for it. You pulled the trigger. You doubled down. You stood on business, and you made your money. But guys, Barbosa Jr. was an underdog because so many people picked Sims Jr. to win. So we can't get. I don't like getting too high on my wins. That's the goal in life. Don't get too high on your wins. Don't get too low on your losses, and don't let them hang around too long. This is the only stream. The first stream after the fights is the only stream we really talk about in depth about our wins and losses. And fortunate for us, we haven't really had to talk about our losses too much. But we have a lot of work ahead of us. Barbosa Jr. was the dog because so many people picked Kenny. That money was coming in from somewhere, guys. And we say it's not like the books are this. It's not like the books. Their address is 521 Main Street. Go see the books. That's where the book. No, it's an accumulation. It's an outcome of where all the money is coming in, and all the money, all fight week was coming in on Kenny. GMS on the boxing voice words. On the boxing voice word is Boots. Whoop yo-yo ass and Kenneth. I could see that. I can see that. Yo-yo's a bit stiff. He's a bit, sometimes it's what Boots does really well is find angles. And when you have a guy who's so front foot heavy and wants to showcase what he wants to do, puts both shoulders in front of you, doesn't really like going bladed too much, you could find an angle. You could turn. I guarantee Boots was having a lot of success turning him. That's, turning him, find an angle, then counter, then exit, force them to come back, counter, slip through, find an angle, this sort of thing. That's what makes Boots so good. But Boots has his flaws too. We've seen him exit on straight lines before with his hands down and chin up. You get another athletic guy or a swarmer, someone like a Virgil, he can make you pay for that. No, this is the best part about our sport, guys. There are no finished products. I mean, there's world. I tell my clients this all the time. There are world champion boxers, undefeated world champion boxers who are working on things right now to fix in their game. There's never a finished product. You might have a guy who's close to being finished, but very few and far between. There's a style for every style as well. You mix that with a skill set, athleticism, hunger, preparation. you find a hole in your opponent's game and you exploit it, you put all the work to do that. I mean, every fighter could be exploited for sure in the ring based on their style. It's just that, is their opponent good enough? Did they prepare enough? Are they smart enough? Are they skilled enough? Are they fearless enough to make that fighter be exploited? Sometimes you got to punch with a puncher, and in doing that, you put yourself at risk. Sometimes you have to wait for the counter, and doing that, you could lose rounds. So, um, it's what makes our sport the best sport on earth. Solid one. You a solid one, man. We still good. King Jr. is a big MMA fan. I just want to give King Jr. the mic real quick. King Jr., just so you know, I'm from Northeast Ohio, but I live stream. I live in Sydney, Australia. It is Monday, 11 a.m. my time. My second live stream every Thursday. So if you're in America, King, it'll be your Wednesday night. My second live stream every Thursday is all UFC. Just so you know that. I do cover, and I will sprinkle some of these, I'll answer some of your questions. But as we get closer to fight week, or as we start maneuvering through fight week, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's really going to be all boxing on here. But I do cover the UFC. I give the UFC its entire live stream, the second live stream of a Thursday. And I usually bring on, I'm going to, I think I have to get Breaking Bad. Nick's probably going to come on this week. We're going to talk about it. But yeah, I don't want you to think I'm avoiding your questions. Guys, I got to get to work. Virtual hug. Appreciate you. JSB Insiders, we up.